I'll press the record button and say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good.
That is good to hear. Welcome back to another Deck Doctor. Let's hit me with the elevator pitch. What do we got going on? What do we got going on today?
All right, so this was like heavily inspired by the Death Eraserhead list that I did see that was on stream. I think it was Gina. I don't remember her last name, but a bunch of the cards looked like they flowed really well together, and I wanted to see if like I had a take on it that I could really push and try to make something work out of it.
Okay.
I took a list very similar to this to locals and went undefeated with it.
Ooh.
I didn't have the brute strengths in there, and I think I only had 2 Blast Rush Turbo, and I had 4 Detonation Launcher in there at first. Blast Rush Turbo, by itself in Eraserhead with Erase, is it's a 7 low for 8.
That's pretty good.
Like, yeah, like it's pretty strong just by itself.
Yeah.
And then everything else is like just the Eraserhead thing. Like everything just flows very well together. Force and Surrender, kicking out an erase came up. I didn't have any other erases in my discard pile, so I was able to Force and Surrender, kick it out. The Struggling Studies came up often. Agitation didn't come up as often. I like the cards still because like at some point they're forced to block my cards.
Right.
But I'm not a huge fan of it.
Okay.
Arrogant Disposition, just being a 6 diff, I wasn't super happy with, but I liked the low block. But I think I can put other low blocks somewhere else. I added in the brute strength because I noticed I had a problem. If I didn't want to go into deadlock, I was forced to never do anything.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the pitch. I love how What's Your Impact Cyclone was the best card in my deck.
Man, I wish I could draw this card. I never get to draw this one.
And the one that felt the most medium was Detonation Launcher, but only because I saw a billion lows together, and it didn't feel good whenever I had the lows all together.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Okay. So there's the pitch for the deck, which I appreciate. What are we doing today? What's the goal?
I would like to have like a discussion or like just like a thought process brainstorming aspect with the attack lineup. The attacks that I liked the most were, like I said, Howitzer, Impact Cyclone. I liked Blast Rush Turbo the most. And I loved Binding Cloth Capture. That card was also really good, especially when you have Brutal Explosion and Howitzer, Impact Cyclone to combo with it.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool technology. So here's what I added. Right. Attack wise, I didn't actually add anything. I just added cool foundations. Because I think your attack lineup is pretty solid to the point where like I don't even necessarily like detonation launcher, but I get like why it's good into Howitzer, Impact Cyclone. Right. Like it just turns it on. It's just like that just feels good. Like detonation into Cyclone is like bread and butter Jasco made combos. But like Detonation Launcher into Blast Rush or into Binding Cloth Capture feels bad. So I like the fact that it's only a 2 of. I think that's very, very cool. We've got 3 blocks here, 3 blocks here, 2 high blocks here. I think that's fine. Only 4 low blocks on our attacks. We could maybe look at something along the lines of... Actually, I'll just go find it. We could look at something along the lines of... where is that card? The Nomu card.
Merciless Rush?
Merciless Rush. Yeah, we could look at Merciless Rush as just like a good poke. Something terrible has happened. Give me the Nomu card. There it is. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, we got Merciless Rush, Signature Right Swing as options of just like other low blocks. So like maybe like you could cut Long Lasting Explosion down to a 3 of, Detonation Launcher down to a 1 of, and then play these 2 cards. The only issue is they don't say the word combo, so they don't combo with this, but neither do these 2 as well. How'd you feel about Long Lasting?
It felt very strong as a 7-min for 6. Even if I was just poking with it, most people did not even want to block it.
Okay. I think that's you're gonna find that same thing happening with Merciless Rush, but this also is just like a 1 low block, as opposed to the mid blocks that you just like don't want. You want actually as little mid blocks as possible in your deck. This should probably be the lowest number because you can turn anything into the mid block that you want, right?
Right.
And you'll probably be doing that a lot.
Okay.
And so like maybe I could sell you on getting rid of 1 and 1 and just tossing in the 2. This card also just like a turn later gets you the momentum. The only issue is it's always a 5 diff. Always. But so are these, right? So like we're not really losing anything. It's interesting. Just choices, right?
Yeah, you can sell me on it. I would probably say like cut like one long lasting. Oh man, I don't even know what else. I love the detonation launcher. I don't know if I would see it as often as a 1-up, right?
What are the chances I cut one binding cloth capture and we make it a 2F?
I can see that too, but just because it lowers down the high blocks.
Right, and it keeps this number high. Yeah, because I'm nervous about low attacks, right? Like we don't want to lose to like a fourth kind playing indiscriminate play a foundation indiscriminate, like that sucks. And this
What if
card,
I
like,
told
helps with
you?
that. Yeah.
I played against Lomu, and every single turn I had 2 to 3 low blocks every single time.
Oh, so you sacked him. Sick.
I sacked him very hard. But yeah, that was my experience with that.
Next, I want to talk about actions. I think Evil Gaze at a 1 of is really tight in this kind of a deck. So like take out 1 plus Ultra, put in 1 Evil Gaze. It just says that like early, it's just like super good. So I got that 1 mid block breaker 1, but I think that's like a individual thing. It's like a big maybe that you could just look at. I'm not even telling you to put it in, take it out, whatever. But I like Evil Gaze, making this even faster by paying the 2 health, right? If you have an Evil Gaze in hand plus another foundation that sucks, right? It's plus 4 speed on the one move that you want, and you don't even have to have the momentum to do so.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be the first enhance that you do. You can do something more interactive.
I do like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Maybe even like it's just a sideboard option, right? Like you take out 1 naval laser beam and put in 1 Evil Gaze instead, right? Like there's ideas or choices. Next, I'm just gonna run through all the foundations that I put in. First off, Tutoring Kirishima is like super cool tech. I don't think it's good, but I just wanted to talk about it. After this card enters your discard pile during the enhanced step, your rival flows a foundation. So it's -2 speed or +2 speed, and then they flip 1 because of tutoring, and that's neat. But it's a 3/5/2 mid block or 3 mid block that kind of just doesn't do anything else. It says that this move gets big, this move gets big, this move gets big, but that's it. Like while on board, so like it kind of sucks to open. I just thought that interaction was neat, and it's something I hadn't seen before. I just did this looking.
Yeah, I had that in my rough draft and came to the conclusion that just having to flip 1 foundation non-selectively is probably worse than just not playing Apathetic in your deck.
I agree. League interview. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. That's pretty much all I have to say.
League interview. Should be at least a 1 of in your deck. It's a 6 check. It's a 3 mid block. It's a 2, and it says that these openers that are 5 diff, 5 diff, 5 diff are actually 4 diff, right? And if you do happen to check the 3, you can just commit the league interview and pay for it. It is a 1 card copy of First Day of Class, as on the first move, which is like you're trying to be a combo deck, and so checking back-to-back 3s sucks. And it should probably just replace one of these agitations.
Okay. So I was comparing like league interview someday with First Day of Class and Arrogant Disposition is all the same card.
Okay.
Mainly because they all fulfill that duty of I need to check that 1 extra or 2 extra.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably, but I kept them in there because of the low blocks.
Right. My thing about this card is it's random when it happens, right? You could check both of these on the first 2 moves that you play, on both the struggling with studies that you open, right? Like I'm gonna build 4 struggling, forcing, surviving, and I just check my 2 6s on the strugglings. Where this is +1 on my check every single turn as soon as I find it, right? It's also that same 6 check, so like it's doing the same job as Arrogant, right? But I have to keep Arrogant because of my low block count. Right? Or if you don't like Arrogant, you should just play 4 struggling, or like 3 struggling, 4 forcing, which I think is like also good moves, right? Like, part of the, I mean, you're playing currently Face Shield exists, right? And so if Face Shield exists, you have to play 4 Forcing Surrender if you're trying to play a cool combo deck. Cards with the word combo on them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Latent skill. Have you found any issue with drawing attack cards? Have you felt
Never.
like never? Okay, then this card doesn't have to be. Summoner Style is doing the same thing that like League Interview does, but it's destroy cost. And it is like a different version of Brute Strength. It is only once per turn, but as opposed to +1 damage, which your deck does need, right? It does need that. But it's just like re-readying things for whenever you check poorly, as well as it's anti-stun, which your deck also does not have currently, right? This is the only anti-stun that the death symbol really has besides first aid class, but that card feels abysmal as anti-stun hate. We don't want this card to be stunned. And then lastly, just tight-lipped. It's just more spam, but like it's a 1 mid block and you already have a million of those. So if you feel like you're not building enough, it's just like a decent choice for you.
Okay.
So out of everything that I've pulled into the sideboard, what looks the most enticing to you?
I do like the Someone style over the Brute Strength idea.
I think 1-1 is probably the right call,
Mhm.
at least to try it, and then maybe I like, where are we at? You've got double Spooky, which is insane in Eraserhead. If you really like the Someone with style, you can maybe put Spooky down to a 1 of, or Excited for Blood down to a 3 of. Like, how often do you need fucking 4 Excited for Blood, huh?
It's true. Like I came up, like I keep on like getting to this point. I'm like, man, I want to cut down my high blocks, but they're all so good.
Yeah. This is probably fine. It just like the biggest issue that I have with Death Symbol right now is honestly it's low blocks. It's feeling very evil-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Without things like 4 Merciless, right? Like the attack lineups that I'm playing are actually playing like eight copies of low blocks on the attacks, but I'm also like all in on the Relentless Barrage Punch Planet decks. So like 4 Merciless, 4 copies of the Hellflame, not Hellflame, Dobby Punch, whatever the fuck that card's called. Who knows? Hellflame Punch. Yeah. Like there's my low blocks, and so like I have 19 low blocks in my deck where you don't, right?
Okay.
Although Eraserhead with Hellflame Spiral is tight. It's very cool.
I thought about it, and it's like it just doesn't fit like the theme of all the other cards.
Correct. It's not a Howitzer Impact Cyclone deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a turn with Howitzer Impact Cyclone. I just had 5 momentum, so I just played it as my first attack. I drew 5 cards.
Drew 5. Just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'll never die. That's
my
tight.
opponent went, wait, that's not the combo?
Nope. No, sir.
Yeah. And I did like your the thing with the agitation cut in 1 for a league interview. I can see that.
Yeah, the other option is like you do the exact opposite, right? If you don't necessarily like agitation, I think you're going to find a lot of value out of League Interview, not failing that first check. So like this card could easily be your 2 of, and this card could be the 1 of, right? But like I think testing it, you're going to find that is where you want it to be, right? Because I don't think this is like another foundation that you could want to have in its spot. Maybe even like have 1 agitation and then like bump your struggling up by another 1.
Okay.
You know,
struggling is one of the best cards in this deck, in my opinion.
You misspoke. Struggling is one of the best cards in the game.
Okay, you're correct. That is true.
in the entire game, it's fighting for top 5 defensive foundations in the whole game. So the fact that it's being played at a 2 of is like a little disheartening, and it's a blow block, which our deck needs. Right? We don't need more 3 mids. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna do that for you. I'm gonna cut agitation down to a 1 of because you don't need that card. And being able to block with a race and then pick it back up is not fair. It's just like a not fair thing to do to somebody. And we're gonna put
same with like kicking out with forcing. It's also really sick.
Correct. And then 16, 19, 27. A lot of the attack cards right now are highs. I just don't want you to get like, no deck should lose to Cero, but your deck says that like he can't change the zone on his moves. Like you become a 6-hander, right? He can't change the zone of the moves. He doesn't get his once per game. Like there's ways to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do like this. I think I want to run with this.
Yeah, I think this is a cool thing. I think the only other thing that we can maybe like mess around with would be like take 1+ Ultra out, put in the one Evil Gaze, or if you're willing to go up to 63, you could just do that same thing. But I think 62 in your 20 attack deck, 7 hand size character that doesn't really draw cards until later in the game with Howitzer is fine, especially because we're not playing things like latent skill in the main. It's just the 1 of agitation now. Excited for blood because a little draw power. But this is like a double-edged sword because we have to pay life to do so.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, this deck looks. This deck does look better than the deck that I was gonna play for the Unfun Friday this past event. Whenever I changed to Ayama real quick. Yeah, I had an Eraserhead built and ready, and like very late into that night, I played like one game with it, and I went, man, this deck is just not it. I need to go back to the drawing board. And so I had to like rip it apart and throw together Earth Ayama real quick. Or Life Ayama? Life Ayama? I think it was Life.
Oh, awesome. This deck, it felt very strong. Like there's something there, and probably next set we'll get a little more. And I try to submit something for this season, even though we're going into next season, only because like this is what's happening now.
Fair. Yeah, I don't mind looking at season 3 stuff or set 3 stuff. It doesn't bother me none. It's just I get to make way more informed decisions on set 2. So
yeah.
Anyways, anything that you disagree with here?
I could probably disagree with the not playing 4 Excited for Blood. That card's just nuts.
Fair. I mean, we could toss it back in, but I don't know. Hold on, what's our high blocks look like? Because I can force another one in if we want it.
I was playing capabilities at a 1 of, but that card's just so nuts. I wanted to see it more often. Where
is that card? I can't even find it. Capabilities up here. Yeah. Thing is, like, we could. I have someone to sell it at a 3 of. It should be a 2 for sure. Does that change our number? Change our number here? 61, not 62. I mean, we were sitting here talking about the fact of like 62 seems fine. We could just put Excited for Blood back up to the 4, be 62, 27. Yeah, we could just do that and just live with it, right?
Mm-hmm. I like it. Okay. This deck, I originally tried to get it to be a 50 card deck, and I was like, I just can't.
Hilarious! You're so funny.
I just couldn't.
Yeah. I'm not sure I like how it's Impact Cyclone as a 50 card deck. Like, it's cool, but like I just
same with Blast Rush Turbo, and like you just want those theories in your discard pile.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, and this is a. Whenever I first got into the game, and I was trying to figure out why people were playing more than 50, because I came from Magic, so like playing the tight number is like where you want to be.
Preach it.
And this right here is like the epitome of I can't play 50. I have to play more.
Clip it and ship it, chat. Anytime I have anybody say, why are you not playing 50? I'm just going to play that clip. I came from Magic and I can't do it. Love it. Love it. All right, man. Well, let me shoot you the deck list over. Thank you for the support over on Patreon, and I'm excited to see how the Eraserhead deck works.
Oh yeah, I'll be playing it tonight if you're playing.
Ooh, how tight. I'll love to see it. All right, man. I will catch you next time, okay?
Sounds good.
Peace.